Well, welcome guys to Entombed Valley. In the bottom left corner we have from Team TSL, it is Revival, a former practice partner of Juan. Because Juan did stay in the TSL house for a while. Juan, of course, the blue Terran in the top left from Team Root Gaming. One of the most misunderstood people in esports, but I think people are starting to come around on him, considering how he's able to put himself out in a little bit better light. His English is improving, and he has been practicing hard as always. Juan, one of those guys, doesn't need a team house to stay motivated. This guy grinds and grinds, just non-stop on the ladder, able to push out so many games and stay very determined because he wants to be the best. He said it himself, the fact that he doesn't get salary on Root isn't a big demotivator at all. It's just because he wants to play with friends and he loves the competition.
Yep, and you know, he's had some good successes since joining Team Root. First place WCS Mexico, fourth place WCS North America. He will be in China in a pretty difficult group, so that's a consideration. But he's had some successes. He's earned some good money since joining Team Root.
Yep, and I think Major is one of the sleepers for the Battle.net World Championships. People are sleeping on Terrans as a whole. They say it's a PvZ tournament. And yes, technically Terran vs. Terran is Juan's best matchup. He always asks me to look up his TVT win rate in TLPD. He says, hey Frodan, look at my TVT win rate today. And it's like 1% higher than yesterday. I'm like, it's good, Juan. He's like, I know. I'm like, you're gonna go play some more tournaments with Terrans? He's like, sure, and just boost his win percentage.
It's, unfortunately, there's not gonna be much TVT for him in China.
There will be one.
Not much, but there will be one.
At least one. Maybe the only one.
Maybe. Pretty standard opening here for Revival. Hatch first into like a 16 pool, so going a little bit later on the spawning pool timing. But he's playing against Major, a guy who we know just does not like to cheese. I can't remember the last time I saw Major do an all-in.
I don't think I've really seen him. The worst end of that part that he ends up going is probably like an attack that has to do damage, but even then it's kind of like he has an economic escape. He can kind of turtle up and fall behind from there, but Major rarely tries to all in from there. I think you're right, Ben. His Hellion run by, sometimes you can make a case like if he doesn't do damage, he's far behind. But either way, I think Major is a big macro player, loves utilizing his speed of how he plays to outmaneuver his opponents. Now he's going for double gas right after his barracks. Pretty standard. Entombed Valley map is another map that Mech is awesome on, and I think that Major would be very inclined to go on Entombed Valley again.
I really like dramatic Frodan.
What's
let's just say something dramatic and have it play one more time. Can we do that? You might say that last game was dramatic.
What's so funny about it? I just think it's my eyes are wide open.
What happened there?
I don't even know. I don't even remember it. All I remember was doing an NA update, and then all of a sudden someone, I don't know. Ben, I was sweating. I was nervous. I was feeling nauseous. I don't know what happened, Ben. All I know is something crazy happened and my eyes opened wider than they ever been.
You look like my cat when she hears a loud noise in the other room. Just gets like really quiet, looks around.
I would like to think so too, Ben. I don't even know. I get startled very easily. Don't ever let me play a game like Slender Man or Amnesia. I freak out like crazy. And like it's not even the funny freak out. It's like I start getting angry because of how scared I am. Because I'm angry that I'm scared, but I'm also scared because I don't even know, man. It's crazy.
Something crazy coming from Revival off of 26 drones. He's got 10 roaches popping out, so he's going to try to punish Major for the style that Major is known for. Major does have a bunker up at the top of his main ramp, but he might need more than just one bunker to deal with 10 roaches. Revival getting very, very aggressive. He's going to try to drone behind this. He's not completely all in, but this is one of those very aggressive attacks that you were talking about, Dan, that has to do some damage.
Yep. Revival should be able to at least force the lift and kill off maybe a couple of SCVs if they're able to stake around. But Revival, let's see how much damage he can do. He can pick off things like a supply depot, maybe move in, pick off. But the SCVs are in position, should start working on them as well.
Not enough surface area. So I think this depot might end up, well, actually with the Marauders out, with the bunker in a good position, Major's going to hold this easily. Wow. How much did he lose, though? A lot of SCVs were pulled off the line. 6 workers fell. But honestly, that was a fantastic defense by Major. Well, I want to say it was a fantastic defense. However, Revival has gone up to 43 drones against 28 SCVs, so he's not in bad shape either.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what the roach pressure is supposed to do, get yourself a big advantage. The only thing is, he's not safe against any counterattack, so he can't necessarily go back into full drone. In fact, he doesn't even have a spine crawler, Ben.
Doesn't have a spine crawler, doesn't have Zergling speed. Does have lair. Somehow, some way, he managed to squeeze lair out of all of that. He's going to get roach speed right now. Make a couple more roaches for defensive purposes. He's going to need them as the Hellions are here. And Major wants to try and even up that worker count a little bit, but he's not going to be able to. Revival getting those units out just in the nick of time.
Yeah, he's just waiting for his Marauder to come in. Once he does, those roaches not going to be able to do much. Major trying to poke in here. A lot of units are very tender already from both sides. Major trying to also use the Hellions to kind of buffer for the Marauders, but that means his ability to kill the drones is weakened as well. Overall, nice defense from Revival, able to sneak in drones and make units just in the nick of time. Man, Revival really doesn't like spine crawlers. Yeah,
he definitely plays a very greedy form of Zerg where he takes some big chances, some big risks. I wonder if he also skips the spine crawlers in ZVZ. I would take advantage of that.
Massive MrBitter +1 Zergling attack. And that'd be absolutely impossible to hold. Revival now starting to make a lot more roaches too, because he's going to expand to a third base and try to rush over his opponent in terms of macro. Meanwhile, we see that Major's transitioning directly into Bio, not going into Mech again, despite Entombed Valley being another popular map for Mech play. I like it though, because again, mixing it up. He's not necessarily sticking to one kind of style.
I think it's also done a little bit reactively for the roaches. You're going to want to have Marauders against roaches. Mech is just not the best thing to have against a roaching Zerg player. Revival coming forward with a big attack right now. He's going to take out this bunker easily, and Major does not appear to have adequate numbers of units to stop these roaches from pressing forward.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, Revival going for a massive timing and able to clear out a lot of important things like supply depots, forced to lift on the natural. Revival is just very, very, very aggressive, and he's super far ahead. This command center trying to buy Major time. Now he's going to lift it. Does he have enough units on the high ground as the combat shield is finishing up? No more pressure from Revival for now. He's just waiting at the bottom of the ramp, setting up a very light contain, and I think this is exactly what Revival wanted. He's able to just get such a large advantage because now Infestation Pit is finishing up. His third is done, and he can start his upgrades and just be sitting very nicely in the mid game.
This is such a huge win for Revival right now, Dan. He's got a hard contain on Major. He's got his Infestors on the way. Major can't float over to the third base. There's an Overlord dropping creep there. He can't take his natural. There's 30 roaches there. Major is in a terrible, terrible position, as if he does not clear out his natural before Infestors show up, he will never clear out his natural.
Yeah, really, I completely agree, Ben. I think Major has to kind of make something happen. He's just going to lift some Hellions and try to send a medevac past it, but Revival should see it, so Revival is going to be prepared to defend it, and he's just going to pull back.
Classic overreactions. Like, I will send everything back home instead of just three or four roaches. Major will unload these Hellions, and he will manage to slide past, confirm the third base is here, and do a little bit of harassment. But honestly, at 66 drones to 30, Major's not going to mind this too terribly much.
I mean, it's just that, yes, he kills off the drones, but Major has no economy himself. It's not like he can keep a huge stream of production. He's only on 3 barracks. That is a very little amount of production that he can squeeze out, let alone contend with a massive Zerg production cycle. Revival taking a 4th base, very nicely timed, and now he's going to have Infestors onto the field. Not looking good for Root Juanito.
No, not at all. There's 5 Infestors out, still have those 26 roaches from the last big attack, and Major with only a single medevac has no real way to survive fungal.
Yeah, you're right. Like, a fungal can just pretty much guarantee the roaches can instantly kill the bio units, although 1 drop from Major is going to attempt to buy him some more time as well as pressure Zerg, but Again, the fungal landing and immediately immobilizing the units. Major really can't do anything. He's pinned, Ben.
Yeah, he's definitely very, very pinned back. He's going to try to push out on the map with a few Marines and Marauders. But there's a huge Zerg army waiting for him, and I think Major might get caught right here. Revival, oh! Ooh. A little bit slow on the reaction time. Major going to run back to his siege tanks. Will Revival try and press the issue? It looks like, yes, he will. He's going to come pushing up this ramp. Fungal growth is not going to be cast. It's going to be infested Terrans going down on top of the siege tanks.
I mean, nice concave from Major, but does he have enough units, just a raw DPS, to be able to hold off the onslaught? He is losing a lot, and while Revival is trading out his roaches, I mean, Major's also trading out his supply. Nice hold from Major. You can see the splits preemptively, but he did lose his tanks, which means his anchor against Infestors is weakened.
It was a good exchange there for Major. One of the beginnings of a comeback, perhaps. He's going to have more trades like that if he wants to stay in this game. It's 146 supply right now to 99, so Revival's still substantially ahead. He's also switching over into Zergling Baneling play, and I like that a lot. Even though Major is producing siege tanks, he doesn't have that many. He's only producing tanks off of a single factory. And these Zerglings and Banelings are going to be very well upgraded. He's going to have 2-2 Ling Bane in just over a minute. So you're going to be looking at a terribly explosive and mobile Zerg ground army, and a fairly immobile and, quite frankly, not that scary-looking Terran army.
Well, we'll see how things pan out. I can imagine, you know, Juan is just going to sit back. Major's going to sit back and turtle. And from here, just do whatever you can. Make moves, harass Zerg, do anything you can. Scout when Hive is, and maybe set up some kind of timing. But, I mean, everything's looking good for Revival. He's got upgrades. He's going to have Hive tech units out very soon, assuming he just throws down a structure like an Ultralisk Cavern. As soon as he gets 3-3, the adrenal glands, and even Revival's doing a good job with the creep spread as well, making sure to cover at least half the map in it. Major is just going to be pinned, and he has to wait for Zerg to come into him.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to move out anytime soon. I do think Major, though, is happy to sit back on 3 bases and try to reestablish his macro. Revival's going up to Hive, or if Hive's done, I should say. Ultralisk Cavern's being built, a lot more Banelings in production. So we're going to have a incredibly powerful Zerg army with the benefit of a couple of big bruiser Ultralisks in the mix. And that's, you know, it's not an army composition that Major absolutely can't deal with, but it's going to be so hard.
Oh, Major has one medevac innocuously trying to pass by the Zerg Baneling Infestor army. Major not really be able to do much there. Again, Major waiting for a critical amount of units that he can mass up before he even tries to take a 4th base. He has to get his tank count up, has to get upgrades. He's still on 1-1. Zerg's starting 3-3. He will have an upgrade disadvantage, but if he positions right, we've seen pretty crazy engagements. This is something where Flash excels beautifully in Terran vs. Zerg that we saw in MLG, that even if he has kind of the odds defining against him, if you position correctly, MVP also does this really well. Just make sure to spread the tanks, set up the concave, and don't let the tanks die. The longer they're firing, the more DPS grows exponentially.
That's right. Major starting to try to push down his ramp, but Revival with a pretty good creep spread is going to be able to engage this army with great haste. Baneling's going to come rolling in. Fungal's going down on everything, and Revival looks like he might have just too much stuff for Major to deal with.
Well, okay, I thought he was going to leave his Infestors exposed, but now he's able to crash into everything. Reinforcement line getting pushed back very deep. Revival able to have a huge bank and remax quickly. Major has no such commodity, as now a 6th base is up for Revival. This is absolutely insane. I think Major really can't keep up with this. He's pretty much spending all of his resources, but his army supply is so meager compared to his opponent, only half.
7 Ultralisks, about 60 Zerglings on the way out for Revival. He has maxed out once more. Still has a healthy Infestor count, 10 of them on the map, and his Greater Spires also being morphed. So Revival rounding out his tech tree completely. He is in commanding supply lead right now. Economically, it's fairly even with both players around 70 harvesters, with both players sitting on 4 bases. Revival just now starting his 5th base. But the problem on the ground for Major is just the sheer size of this Zerg army.
Yeah, I mean, let alone, like, how can you handle even the transition to Broodlords afterwards? Because you've been investing all of your army into the ground. You have no real answer if Broodlords comes out, especially with Infestor support. Revival just making 42 banelings and might just crush whatever runs into his path. Zerglings go forward, Ultras in, Infestors before the banelings. Who cares? Just roll into anything and everything possible. Revival able to crush most of Major's army. The Marines, that is, I mean, Marines are great, Ben, but they're not that great. GG gets called, and Revival takes game number 2, tying up the series and sending it to the rubber match.
Yep, very nicely done there by Revival. Evens it up at 1 each. Our third and final map going to end up being Cloud Kingdom. That last one brought to you guys by Stamps.com. Hassle-free postage from your PC. Available for you at nasl.tv/p/stamps. Quick break, then game 3. Don't go anywhere, guys. Lots more StarCraft still to come after this.